You know, when you think of Tony Robbins, you probably picture those huge, high-energy seminars, right? But his most powerful tool isn't the firewalk. It's actually a really simple playbook for dealing with change. And get this, he built the entire thing from the single worst day of his life. So in this explainer, we're going to break down that exact strategy. How do you turn a massive challenge into your biggest strength? Because, let's be real, that's a skill we all need now more than ever.
And really, it all boils down to this one central question. How can you turn your worst day into your best day? I know, it sounds like some cheesy self-help quote. But for Tony, this is anything but a cliché. It's the very mission that was forged in the fire of the most painful day of his childhood.
So to really understand that mission, we have to go back. We have to start with the wound. This one single event from when he was a kid that literally changed the entire course of his life.
All right, so picture this. It's Thanksgiving Day. A young Tony Robbins is at home, but there's no money. There's no food for a holiday meal. Instead, his parents are just screaming at each other. His dad had just lost his job, and the entire house was just thick with this feeling of failure and despair.
And then, in the middle of all that chaos, there's a knock at the door. Standing there is this tall man holding bags of groceries and an uncooked turkey. A total stranger, who someone had sent because they knew the family was struggling, was there to deliver a full Thanksgiving dinner.
Now this moment right here is absolutely fascinating because you have two people experiencing the exact same event, but they create completely different realities from it. Tony's dad, he focused on what he couldn't provide, so the meaning he took from it was, I'm worthless, and his action, he slammed the door. But Tony, he focused on something totally different. He focused on the fact that strangers care. The meaning he created was, I have to care about strangers too. And his action became a promise to himself. Someday, I'm going to be the one doing this for other people.
And boom, that one moment gave Tony his core insight, the idea that would define his entire career. It's not the events of our lives that shape us. It's our decisions about what those events mean. This single idea became the foundation for his entire playbook for change.
So here's the crucial point. In any given moment, we're always making three key decisions. First, what are you going to focus on? Are you looking at what you've lost or what you still have? Second, what meaning are you going to give this thing? Is this the end of the world or is it a new beginning? And third, what action are you going to take? Seriously, these three little decisions, made over and over again, are what create our emotions, and in the long run, they create our entire lives.
You know, as Tony always says, the real problem is never the problem itself. It's the story you tell yourself about the problem. And that story, well, that hardens into a belief. And that belief, it becomes this invisible force that controls pretty much everything in your life.
Okay, so what's driving those stories? I mean, why did Tony and his dad choose such radically different meanings from the exact same event? Well, Robbins says it's because we're all driven by a set of deep, fundamental human needs. And understanding these needs, that's the key to unlocking your mission in life.
All right, so here they are, the 6 human needs. The first 4 are what he calls the needs of the personality. We all need certainty, right? A roof over our head. But we also crave uncertainty or variety, a little spice in life. We need to feel significant, like we matter. But at the same time, we desperately need connection and love. Then you've got the last 2, the needs of the spirit, growth and contribution. And here's the kicker. The entire quality of your life really just depends on which 2 of these you value the most.
And this is where the whole story comes full circle. Tony Robbins turned his absolute worst day into his best day by building a life around that need for contribution. That little promise he made to himself as a kid, it has now turned into a real-world mission to provide 1 billion meals to people in need. He literally transformed his deepest wound into his life's mission.
His life was totally transformed by putting contribution and growth at the top of his list. So just take a second and ask yourself, when you look at that list of 6 needs, which 2 are really driving you? Your answer is basically the blueprint for almost every single decision you make. All right, let's switch gears for a second. Because Tony uses this exact same framework, not just for personal stuff, but to sound an urgent alarm about a huge collective suffering that he sees coming for all of us.
And the warning is this. The insane speed of tech, especially AI, is about to wipe out millions of jobs way faster than we can possibly adapt. But the real danger isn't just about the money. It's about a crisis of meaning, of identity. Because for so many of us, our job isn't just what we do, it's who we are.
And hey, to make this really hit home, just look at one single industry. In the US alone, there are 8 million truck drivers, Uber drivers, and taxi drivers. When self-driving tech really takes over, what happens to the identity, the sense of purpose for those 8 million people?
And look, this is not some far-off sci-fi movie plot. This transition is happening right now. You've got Ray Kurzweil, the legendary inventor, who's been saying for years that we'll have artificial general intelligence by 2029. Even the more careful predictions, from guys like Geoffrey Hinton, put it between 2030 and 2040. The point is, this isn't decades away. It's happening in the next few years, and we have to get ready.
So if that's the big, scary warning, what are the tools? How in the world do you prepare for a future that's changing this fast? Well, Tony offers a really clear, actionable game plan.
It all starts with a major shift in your mindset. See, we weren't built to just be managers of our circumstances, always reacting to whatever life throws our way. We were made to be creators, to be the ones actively designing the lives we truly want to live. And to become a creator in this new world, he says you have to master 3 essential skills. Number 1, pattern recognition. You got to see that life, business, all of it moves in cycles. Seeing the pattern removes the fear. Number 2 is pattern utilization. This is where you learn how to use those patterns to ride the waves instead of getting crushed by them. And finally, the most important one, pattern creation. This is the next level. This is where you don't just ride the wave, you're the one building the surfboard.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? You will not be replaced by an AI. You will be replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI. Technology is just a tool. The real threat isn't the machine. It's the person who masters the machine faster than you. The advantage always goes to whoever can learn and adapt the quickest. And that brings everything right back to the beginning, doesn't it? The lesson from that awful Thanksgiving Day is the exact same lesson we need for this huge technological shift we're all facing. The playbook is the same. Stop being a manager of your circumstances. Start being the creator of your life.
So, we'll leave you with this one thought. In a world that is constantly, and I mean constantly, changing and speeding up, there's really only one question that matters. What are you going to create?